definitely say thank you to Brandy, to the Copper Center, and especially to Colorful Roots for organizing this necessary and this timely event that the State of the Black Union, understanding our present, focusing on our future, and welcome to all of you, my mothers, my fathers, my brothers, and my sisters, as we go into this great discussion. So I definitely want to welcome the wisdom of our ancestors who gathered around fires and even in our secret places to raise consciousness of the village while maintaining a place of safety, of love, and of unity. We will share our opinions, our thoughts, data, and stories as we discuss and interact with one another. So I'm extremely looking forward to all of that. An African proverb says, it's the one who lives in the house who knows where the roof leaks. Today we have come to examine our house and the position of our condition of our state. Just as with the physical structure, it is necessary at times to revisit a routine basis to avoid emergencies and oversights. I challenge us to celebrate us, to look at our progress, and to admire our house. There's never been a people who have quite done what we have done and within the timeline in which we have. Many of us are less than 4 generations from chattel slavery, and yet we stand today as free people, educated, driving our cars, professionals, discoverers, pioneers, and so much more. Yes, we must celebrate, elevate, and appreciate who we are and what we've done and where we're going. Yet there are some opportunities and some threats that we cannot afford to overlook or ignore. No doubt we cannot and must not, Chuck, close our minds to the possibility that there is just one, but several leaks in our roof. Yes, it is the one who lives in the house, AA, who knows where the roof leaks. There even may be some cracking in our floors and some painting that needs to be redone. We may need to remove some old furniture and wipe up the dust that creates a stale and still environment. Yes, my family, we are in this house, and it's time that we get up and we walk around. So as an elected official, I've had the privilege to evaluate the State of the Black Union, our house, from various perspectives. I heard story after story about the level of oppression, struggle, and depression that has plagued our communities for far too long. We keep looking to Lansing, we keep looking to Washington for the answers, but truly, they have none. So we either resign to see what we see, or we fight for what we know. Think about this. Black people have only been legally free since the 60s. Legally free since the 60s. That means that any of us in mid-50s and older were born in a systemic apartheid reality. That reality has continued to define a lot of our worldview and perspectives. We find ourselves marching, chanting, and even flexing like our ancestors did during the civil rights marches. We find ourselves automatically existing from a place of oppression, fear, and hopelessness. Yes, that is the leak in our roof. But here's where, Brandy, we must take a stand and say, it's time to fix the leak. What do I mean by that? Fix a leak in the roof is only the beginning of a repair, and the truth is, sometimes it's not only part of the roof that needs to be repaired. Sometimes the whole damn thing needs to be pulled off and replaced with higher quality material.
Yes.
How does that translate into the State of the Black Union? Well, today, we'll be focusing on discussing the roles that economics, environment, education, and excellence play today and tomorrow. We must look at ourselves today from a place of more political activism to a place of strategy and operations. You see, we are free people, even if the systems we interact with don't acknowledge it. It's time, my brothers and sisters, that we act and we think like we are free. I'll close with another saying. When the music changes, so does the dance. Let's get our dancing shoes on and get ready to pick up the pace in some areas and slow down and groove and love in other places. So today is just the start of a movement that we build not just in Three Rivers, but all across the state of Michigan, because we gonna fix the leak in our roof.
All right. Yeah.
All right. You have heard the commissioner speak. You have heard the commissioner identify the problem in the house. How many of you are willing to fix the leak? And this is what's typically known as Black History Month. I call it Black Magnification Month because we are highlighting and we are showing up and showing out all of the things you can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell, add, subtract, and or divide. It has something to do with the Black mind, the Black hand, the Black energy, okay? So all of you who are in support of that, please give yourselves a round of applause. Now we're going to jump right into it. As you heard, Commissioner said she had to leave, so she won't be able to dance with us. But let's start with our panelists. And this is one thing you can do, pass the mic. Remember to project your voices. Let everybody know who you are. Matter of fact, let's just do that. Starting with Commissioner again. Maybe you guys don't remember her name. What is her name? Stephanie Moore. Okay, she
Right.
So we're gonna start over here with the next gentleman that is sitting next to her. We're gonna give an introduction of who we are and just a little bit, maybe a 30-second intro, what we do in the community, okay?
Good afternoon. My name is Charles Welch, also known as DJ Chuck. I am an advocate as well as an entrepreneur. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, graduated from Western Michigan University. Go Broncos, we got the Broncos out there. The Broncos. My field is entertainment, so I handle a lot of entertainment that comes through the city of Kalamazoo. I am also a board member for Kalamazoo Downtown Partnership, Coalition for Experience. Our board is specifically designed to help create diversity and inclusivity to downtown Kalamazoo, and that's a project that we've been working on for the last year or so, trying to change the narrative. I was also a former board member of Metro, the buses, as well, so I was on that board for a little while, and so I'm an advocate for our city. That's me.
My name is Elvoncio Peterson. People better know me as better as Von throughout the community. I've been here for about 5 years in Three Rivers. I'm originally from Detroit as well, Southfield more specifically, Southfield, Michigan. Graduated from Southfield High School, and I also went to the University of Michigan, graduated there back in 2004. I've also worked with the school system, several public schools. I worked in Detroit Public Schools, Southfield Public Schools, Wayne County, Washington County, that's all on the east side of the state. I've also worked with Three Rivers Public Schools as well, and I'm currently working at Flagstar Bank. I'm a relationship banker. I've been there for about 3 years now. I've been in banking for almost 6 years now as well.
Yes.
I'm also a board member here at the George Washington Carver Community Center. Been here for about 4.5 years as well. I'm actually running for the treasurer of Lockport Township as well. This year as well to do some more active things in the community. And then also, I'm a definitely strong advocate for community improvement, especially amongst our youth. So I definitely work hand in hand with other people with that as well.
And you know Brandy how?
I'm married to Brandy.
That's my baby.
Hello, I'm Tori Brown. I am the head trustee at Grand Chapel AME Church. I, along with my wife, mostly my wife, run Lowry's Bookstore's open mic, first Thursdays of every month. I'm on the panel because I myself is also a poet, and most of my poetry is speaking toward Black activists and getting our word out.
Hi everyone, my name is Leasia Leray Posey. I go by Leray. I am a first year student at Western Michigan University. I am studying photography with a student minor at journalism. I'm representing three major things. I'm representing myself as an African American youth. I'm representing the Black Student Union, Western Michigan University, and I'm also representing Western Michigan as a whole. So I'm here because I feel like that it was really important to have a youth voice in this type of panel, because our youth is our next generation of change. So without that,
Yes.
we don't really have the step forward. So I feel really honored to be here and to represent. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Nicole Taylor. I am originally from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'm a graduate of Kalamazoo Central High School. I later went on to move to Illinois. I'm a graduate in the nursing degree from Ivy Tech out of Indiana. I write, I'm an entrepreneur here in Kalamazoo. I believe in Kalamazoo. I also am like I said, I'm a nurse. I'm also a correctional officer at Stateville Correctional Facility. And I'm on this panel to promote and to help Black young youth in the direction of Kalamazoo. I do plan on returning here in about 3 years to my hometown to help change.
Good afternoon. My name is George Folk. I'm an associate minister at New Jerusalem Baptist Church here in Three Rivers. I'm originally from New Jersey, so I'm a city boy, by heart. I've been in Three Rivers for about 15 years now. I'm a 23-year military veteran. I'm a 32-year postal veteran, just retired about 2 years ago, and presently I'm a bus driver for Three Rivers Community Schools. I was invited here by my daughter, Randy Peterson. I want to put in a disclaimer because I'm not here to represent the church, okay? Because there are a bunch of denominations and everybody has a different doctrine. What I'm here to represent is the spiritual aspect of God's word, okay? And that only.
Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it. As you all see and have heard, we have a mix of individuals, a mix of community educators, faith-based, entertainment, poetry, right? We have the youth or young adult segment, we have political segment, education, and everybody has a heart and a passion for fixing the leak. How many of you know what fixing the leak is? I'm gonna be referring to that for the rest of the time here. Are we gonna fix the leak?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna hear something that is very profound and that will set the table or the stage right here to finding out what is the state of the Black community, the state of the Black Union. What does that look like? Who's doing what? So first question, and we're gonna start over here again because we wanna hear your voice, Commissioner. What is the first time, and this is for everyone to think about, the first time you realized that you were Black?
Okay, so I grew up in the north side of Kalamazoo, very urban, and unfortunately my mother was, as I became an adolescent, became addicted to drugs. She was strung out on cocaine and she was often missing in action, and so I literally, with the help of my village, my community, pretty much raised myself with my two other siblings. I became pregnant in my senior year of high school at Kalamazoo Central and had to leave school to go to an alternative school that they had for young pregnant women. And so it was there at Old Central, it was called Continuing Education for Young Families. They provided medical support. So my OBGYN, Dr. Arthur James, he was there, his full staff. So we had access to health care along with the education, WIC and all of that stuff. And one day I was at a doctor's appointment and the nurse was there. And she was talking at me, and there was another nurse in the room, and she kept saying, it's such a shame that this girl is in here and she's pregnant and she's never gonna be anything, she's never gonna do da-da-da, her kid is gonna grow up in poverty, and I was just sitting there like, oh, you know. And so I had a few questions for her because at the time I was about 5 months pregnant, and I was like, well, I'm experiencing these things and this is how I'm feeling, and she looked at me and was like, and turned right back around to the other woman and started saying, this girl don't have a clue where her mama at, and da-da-da. So, me, I was sitting there, and just so happened, Dr. James, who's an African-American OBGYN, he comes in the room, and y'all know I couldn't wait to tell her, right? I was like, I didn't really know him, but I felt I trusted him, and I was like, listen, this is the experience that I'm having right here. It's stressful, this is what this woman is saying. She said, what? And he started he actually walked in the hallway and I could still hear their conversation and he was lightening to her. And she said, well, typically what we see from young black girls in this situation, this is, the outcomes that usually happen. So to fast forward, every time I went back, I never saw either one of those women again. Every time that I stayed in school, as a matter of fact, I got my GED and my diploma because I didn't know I had enough credits to graduate. But it was the experience there that let me know, dealing with systems, regardless of what your situation was, that my life, the life of my child, was not valued just because of the melanin in my skin.
Wow.
Growing up in